Aloha, everyone, and welcome to Java. Thank you for joining me. This is Thursday, September 21st, 2023, the day after Fed Day. We had Jay Powell speak yesterday. They're holding rates steady for now, but they were very hawkish in their tone. So, with that, we watched the market basically drop. We're in extreme risk area over 290 on the MMRI. We're going to be keeping our eye on the 10-year yield, which is over the 4.3 is 4.43, as well as the dollar relative strength index. So I had a bit of a surprise that gold did not go green or go higher, but we did watch the rest of the market fall. We were expecting oil to kind of have a correction. And it will, after this, I believe, move higher again. We've still got restriction in supply, as well as a couple of other things going on. With this, I did want to share something a little different today. So while this is not financial advice, I've got a couple of yielders as far as tickers that I did want to share. This first one, shout out to Alan Greenspan. I'd like to credit you for this one. Energy Transfer, its dividend yielder, 8.92%. The last price was $13.90. The second one, courtesy of Greg Manorino, this is JEPI, the one he speaks about. This one pays monthly, and it is regarding JP Morgan. So 9.73%. The last price was $54.98. And then I've got one personally that I like. It's DAPPs. This one is tied into tech, specifically blockchain, and a couple of the diversifieds there pays 32.89 in dividend yield. Last price was $5.71. So this one, incredibly volatile, but I do think eventually will follow with the Bitcoin price and advance. So these are just some highly speculative ones that do yield dividend. Why am I telling you about these when I'm saying the market is very likely to topple? Because when these go on sale, these are a couple of the ones that I will be buying. So we're looking for deals when there is quote unquote blood in the streets. And I think we're going to be coming up on that soon. So just a consideration, do your own research. But thank you so much for that. Let's move on to our stories. Okay, I also want to mention that I do like holding physical gold, physical silver that we can trade, as well as food, ammunition, other things. Okay, with our calendar, we've got the government shutdown still looming. They're still talking about this. We know they have to raise and that they will continue to inflate, but they're pretending to argue at the moment. So today, the numbers we are expecting is basically jobless claims. And then home sales are the two big ones, as well as economic indicators. But after yesterday, I think those won't really have an effect on the markets. Okay, so on with jobs, retail, and inflation. We got a few things going on here. The 10-year Treasury hit a fresh multi-year high, 16 years. And that's, not a good thing. That's kind of a danger signal in the debt market, as you know. We've got the Swiss National Bank held their rates unchanged. Still looking forward to the Bank of England. So they've all got to stay similar so that they don't crush each other's currencies in the Western world. And then we did have the global debt stock hitting a record as well. Not a good record, 307 trillion. So this whole debt bubble is very shaky, and we've got to keep an eye on it. Okay, so moving on, this is kind of in the employment sector. We've got the UAW strike still going on. So in the midst of this, tables are slightly turning. GM and Stellantis laid off more than 2,000 workers. But the kicker is this: because it was during the strike, the workers that they laid off will not be eligible to the supplemental unemployment benefits that it would normally pay. So they're kind of kicking themselves, in the behind on this one, if you ask me. That paired with the next story isn't, they may want to decide on just negotiating here, the workers. We'll see. Okay, so we've got, and I know you've heard about this in the mainstream media, but to cover it from a little different angle, we've got some fights going on now over in the sanctuary cities over the migrants because there's been too many that have flooded in and they cannot afford them, don't have a place to put them. Well, the current administration in the United States, decided to make a path for them to get work permits. Normally, it takes minimum of 90 days. Now they're clearing a way that they can begin work and start taking jobs within 30. So we've got thousands and thousands of immigrants. We're getting over 4,000 per day, crossing the borders, over almost 500,000 since the beginning of the year that will fall under this. So almost 500,000 migrants that will be ready and willing to work. On the oil front, we've still got China boosting Russian crude imports. They're still buying because they're buddies. So it's keeping their prices down, and we're heading into winter. On the other hand, we've got U.S. crude stocks are down. Talking about the fuel stocks down because exports are surging and we're not taking any in, which is a very serious imbalance. And then we've got this story about why gas prices are so high and might get worse. Well, that's kind of silly. We know why. The inflation will continue. In housing, they've got this overlaid with mortgage rates, but really it's subprime and auto delinquencies worse now than during the Great Recessions. We're higher now in this spike than 2008. And then on top of that, we've got home buyers canceling deals at the highest rate in 10 months. So it typically takes 30 to 45 days to close a home sale transaction. And in that period of time now, people with these rates are losing their rate locks or looking at what prices are doing. They're backing out of deals. So these homes are coming back on the market. And this is really what I wanted to talk about today is our trade wars and trade wars globally, because these will affect, well, obviously globally, but US trade as well as currencies, because there's an awful lot going on here in the backdrop. And I'd like to cover that now. So the first one is a short kind of an argument that's going on. They've got rough neighbors now between Poland and Ukraine. So Zelensky, there was the grain deal, started having some issues with the trade. So he decided to sue Poland, which I think was not a smart move. However, now Poland has decided to send Ukraine a bill for the aid that they have sent in the amount of approximately $23 billion in weapons, and saying that they would rather focus on their own security. So yeah, that's going to have some effects for them for certain. We've got this other story, Russia becoming the United Arab Emirates' top gold supplier. So this is significant for a couple of reasons. Number one, the trade going on between the two, one more trade partner. Number two, that Russia has enough gold that they are becoming a supplier and selling now to other countries. And the question is, what are they selling it for? What is the trade that's going on? And that should be the question that should be coming off with this. So UAE with gold and other materials now trading directly with Russia. Counterpart to this is Erdogan, head of Turkey. So Turkey is now becoming a main corridor for Russia, imports, exports, trade route. A NATO member of Turkey saying that Russia is as trustworthy as the West. So this is going to rock some boats. And so he's also talking about how they get half of the natural gas from Moscow. So looking into this winter, it's a very interesting story here that has a few more facets than just the front page. So we've got another one in here. We've been talking about Africa kind of diversifying from France. So we've got Africa shifting toward the yuan and the rupee in trade with Russia. So basically, they are moving off of the euro and the US dollar and heading east with their trade. And then with the companion story, which is in another area, but I'll bring it to you because the first question again, what are they trading in and for? The answer for this one is fertilizer. So Africa trading in fertilizer, and they've got huge food exports, imports. So this is going to be something that we'll keep an eye on because it will affect us. If you have a moment and you do indeed like anything from this video, please hit like. I appreciate it tremendously. I thank you for that. And not to mention that it does help others get this information. So now with my lava updates, I've got a couple of things I want to hit really quickly. Singapore Airport is the first one. They're going to, as it says, ditch passports and use biometrics instead. So we have to be very careful because this is going to affect freedom of movement. And we're already watching attacks on freedom of speech. So, a couple other quick things I want to hit. Giorgia Meloni, she is the Italian Prime Minister, giving a warning at the UN. And I think that they basically are not paying attention to what's going on with her. They said that they would be distributing migrants. France is uh, they are putting armed guards at the borders. They put the military at the borders, saying they are not taking them because they are angry with her. But above and beyond that, there are now more migrants on this island than there are native dwellers. And it is a serious problem. She sees that and has said that they're going to attack the traffickers, human traffickers at the boats. And this I just wanted to bring as a reminder. I found this sign, I've seen this before that he's holding up, but it is a good, clear reminder happening here. I know we have viewers that are across the way, but this is the United States and there is no one coming to our rescue. No one will be resupplying. No one will airdrop food, ammunition, or medicine. So I thought that was a pretty good point to bring up. He's saying there is no place to escape for freedom, which you know that I value. So with that, my friends, I wish you a green trading day, or just a wonderful day in general. And as always, until I see you again, stay free.